Assalamu alaikum, friends. It's been a while since we've seen each other, and even longer since we've cooked anything together. That's why I'm inviting you today in this new video to cook the most popular dishes on YouTube and in our lives in general. This is real Caucasian shashlik, and we're going to cook it in this beautiful place called Forest Park. It's located not far from the city, just about 10 minutes away. You can get here by taxi, by bike, by scooter, however you want. I've already talked about this shashlik in many of my videos about shashlik, and today we're finally going to make it the real shepherd's version of shashlik. I'll tell you its main secret. And today we'll make two versions of shashlik. One is the shepherd style and the other is a regular classic marinade, so we can compare them and see if there's any difference. So today our main focus is this hind leg of lamb. It weighs about 3 kilograms. Now we'll prepare it. We'll trim off all the excess fat and membranes. One of the most important things when making shashlik is choosing good meat. And you can become good at making shashlik in the process. Be sure to remove all this excess from the leg, especially these dried membranes, because otherwise we'll have to chew on them later. Carefully trim it so that our shashlik is not only tasty but also looks good. So that while you're watching this video your appetite increases and you start looking around for something to eat. Actually, I recommend that before you continue watching, pause the video and have some food within reach. It will be hard for you to watch what's coming next. Now we separate the meat from the bones. There's not much to think about here either. Anatomy tells us how to do this. Because this piece consists of several muscle groups and they are clearly visible. So we just cut along them here. We've exposed the bone. You can see it right away. Also, don't forget to remove this lymph node. Here it is, it's right inside here. The whole issue of lymph nodes is of course very controversial. Some people say it affects something, but others say it doesn't. But even if you smell it, it has an unpleasant odor, and it can clearly transfer that smell to the meat, so we'll just remove it. We've removed it from the bone. We don't remove this part. We'll set it aside for broth. Look how much unnecessary stuff we've trimmed off this meat. Here, look, this is what I was talking about. The meat just naturally separates along these muscle groups. Here, for example, this is one part. Let's separate this now, then we'll cut it. Into small pieces. About this size. So it cooks quickly, like this. Like this. See, this meat is from a young animal. It will be very juicy. Ideally, now look, we'll also remove this. There. The membrane, this thin tendon, because it also will shrink. See, it's a whole membrane. It would have tightened this piece of meat. Someone might say in the comments that all this is pointless. Removing all these membranes. Just cut it up and it's done. But just for the sake of experiment, try it yourself. Take the trouble to remove all of this just once. You'll get something you never even suspected. That you can make shish kebab this tender. Look, this is a piece. This is the calf muscle. Does lamb have calves? Well, this is the shank. You can actually see the muscles on it. This tendon runs along it. In theory, this will be the toughest piece of this shashlik. We're going to cut it out as much as possible now. This is the tendon from here. Well, this one we'll keep as a spare and give this piece to the cameraman. So, you're probably all interested, especially my long-time subscribers, in why there are so few videos and why they come out so rarely. The thing is, I stopped earning as much as I used to from this. That's why I have to make money somewhere else. Otherwise I would gladly make these videos every day, but for some reason they are monetized very poorly. And right now it's not even clear whether they'll impose this Chardonnay on us or not. Every day the situation with the internet just keeps getting worse and worse. And all of this affects motivation and even any kind of vision for the future. I'm even recording this video just so I don't forget how to do it at all. So let's support each other in the comments so you have something to watch, not just me but other creators as well. Many of them are in the same situation too, so that they also post something. Because you are, first of all, the ones who evaluate this content, who consume it. That's why your support is really needed. Leave a like, write any comment, we would appreciate it. This is how much meat we got. There will be about 67 skewers here. We're going to divide it now. This part will be for shepherd's shashlik, and this part we'll make with a classic marinade. We use any spices you like. It's really not about the spices here. We just bought the very first seasoning for lamb that we found. Here we have salt, garlic, pepper, coriander, cumin, onion, ginger, cinnamon, rosemary, basil, thyme. Basically a decent set. Add any others you like. It smells nice. There usually isn't much salt in these kinds of seasonings, so we'll add some extra salt. Now let's quickly add the onion.
Add the salt.
One onion is enough. Ideally, if you leave the meat in this marinade for a couple of hours, it will be good. But we'll leave it for about half an hour. And it will be fine like that too. Let's mix it well. So that every piece of meat is coated. Let's add regular water to this meat. You can add mineral water if you want. I don't know, maybe some kefir or something else. It doesn't matter. The key is to have liquid. Now let's pour some water here. Look here, about a glass of water. See, there's not much thick stuff. The water is right here. Can you see it? Now we'll mix it, and all this water will be absorbed into our meat. Why do we do this? When we add water to the meat, it gets absorbed into the piece. When we grill shashlik, the first thing that evaporates is the water we've added, and during the time it takes for this water to evaporate, the shashlik has time to cook. And the meat juices stay inside, so it turns out very juicy, of course, if we grill it properly and don't overcook the meat at the optimal temperature. That's why we add liquid here. Our shepherd style shashlik. The main secret of shepherd-style shashlik is that there is no secret at all. I've already mentioned in my other videos that the most delicious shashlik I've ever eaten in my life, the one I still remember the taste of in my mouth. It was the shashlik prepared by the shepherds in the mountains when my grandfather and I visited his friend. And the shepherd slaughtered a sheep right there on the spot and made shashlik from its fresh, warm meat. He only added regular salt. And ground black pepper. Let's check it out. Will I be able to recreate this taste? And often in the comments under barbecue videos, people write that every time someone new comes along showing their own marinade. And there is no such thing as the right marinade. There are 200 or 300 different kinds. It all depends on your imagination because the essence of the marinating process stays the same. So that the meat absorbs extra flavors and juiciness if you add some kind of liquid. and what those flavors are depends entirely on your preference. I'm done. Under every shashlik video, many people always write that you only need salt and pepper, nothing else. So now we're going to check that. Was anything else needed? Basically, cooking meat isn't difficult. If you understand the physics of cooking any food, every product has its own specific temperature. If you go beyond that, it gets ruined. For example, meat might end up undercooked. That's why if you know even a little bit of theory, it won't be hard to put it into practice. Everything's set. Let's light the charcoal now. I've shown this before, but I'll keep showing it in case someone missed it. Usually a paper napkin. We put our palm in, push it in like this so it forms a little cup. We place this in the center of the coal. Enjoy, and we pour regular sunflower oil in there. Goodbye. It's green because it's some kind of unusual oil. We light it up. You can start a fire this way, not just coals. We don't use fire starters because they stink. You sure? And this is how we surround this fire. We'll get a kind of hearth that will burn inside and ignite our coals. Don't smother the flame, make sure there's space left there. That's it, and we don't touch it. Now leave it for 15 to 20 minutes. We don't come near this at all. Our coals will ignite naturally. We'll quickly skewer the meat. Let's start with our shepherd's version. Still, friends, I'm curious if any of you have seen the episode I filmed about the life of a shepherd. If you haven't, be sure to watch it. It turned out to be a really great video. Well, I just remembered it now, got a bit nostalgic. I want to film another video about shepherds because it's truly a very unique job in the 21st century. Would you like to see something like that again, but about other people? I would gladly make a video like that. For example, how shepherds work, how they milk sheep and make sheep cheese from it. I don't think I've seen a video like that on YouTube. I likely won't find such shepherds here and may need to look for them in Dagestan. A marinated meat. Yeah, the aroma of these spices definitely hits differently now. We won't mix them up since the meat already changed color from sitting in the liquid.
Do you know what else needs filming there? We need to go to the mountains for an overnight trip when it gets a bit warmer. We could cook some kind of meat underground there. Just like that.
Why do you make your voice like that before you start talking?
I don't know.
Can't you speak with your own voice?
This is coming from someone who does exercises and warm-ups before every recording.
And even a running start. That's how you get into filming mode. Look, just like I said, we'll end up with exactly 5 skewers. So, look here, Mom, these 2 pieces from the drumstick are the toughest ones. We'll put them on the edge here so you can grab them right away.
Thank you for your kindness and your good heart.
Everything's ready. Let's go check the coals. Okay, look, the coals are ready. These are what you call ashy coals. After we've spread out this pile, you can't put the meat on right away, because there's a lot of heat there, and everything will start to burn. You need to wait a little bit. Even now they're very hot. I can't even keep my hand there for 2 seconds. Let's wait a little, at least 7 seconds, so that we can... fiber. Alright, quickly. Let's marinate the onions before we start with the meat, otherwise there won't be time later. This is a shepherd's shashlik, so everything should be as simple as possible. Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to worry about aesthetics. Let's imagine, look, for example, a shepherd. Now we're going to marinate the onions with lemon juice. A shepherd might not carry a lemon. Let's imagine a situation where, at that moment, his friend comes to visit him. various vegetables including a lemon. And he prepared shepherd-style shashlik for his guest. Just squeeze half a lemon over it. That's it, here we go. These two are the shepherd-style ones. Beautiful. See, I can already hold my hand. There. So it suddenly got really hot, the sun came out.
Мангал еще горячо. Смотрите.
When we're grilling shashlik, we need to turn it over very often. In the first stage, we need to sear the piece of meat.
Достаточно жара, она сейчас быстро его запечатает, и после этого мы будем его потихоньку крутить.
In just 10 to 12 minutes, our shashlik will be ready.
Когда очень жирная баранина, еще минус, допустим, если вы не убираете вот эти жиры,
It keeps flaring up because of this fat. All those life hacks with salt or something else don't work when the meat is fatty.
Вот как на самом деле Бешта снимает выпуски. Так.
I'm just the host.
Снимаю сторис для...
A page on Instagram, unless it's a caption.
Бешта Travel. Там мы...
We announce our hikes and tours that we organize, and throughout April we're also selling passes for our adventures. If you...
И слово приключение, переходите по ссылке и ознакомьтесь.
Alright, our shashlik is ready. Here's a life hack we use if we're not in a hurry. If you have another 5 minutes and you're not super hungry, just do this. This applies to any meat, even if you're making steak. Once the meat is cooked, we cover it with foil. Literally for 5 to 10 minutes. This is done because, look, when the meat is heated, all its juices move toward the center of the piece.
Его закрываем, даем ему потихоньку остыть.
And by covering it with foil, the heat doesn't escape, the center of the piece cools down very evenly, and the juice redistributes throughout the whole piece, making it very juicy and tender. Be sure to try it, check it out, and let me know in the comments later. Let's start with the Chabansky one. Just a reminder, there's only salt and pepper here. Let's cut it open and show a piece, see how juicy it is. Oh, and we also need to check the juiciness. Look, see, it's not overcooked, it's tender meat. Let's check the juiciness of this one right away. Yeah, you can see here, see, it's much juicier, the juice is even running out of it. Let's try this one now. Tasty. When you add just salt and pepper, you really get the distinct taste of the meat itself. And it's really good. The meat is well cooked. Right here it's really juicy too. If I didn't compare it and was just given this shashlik, I'd say it's top notch. But now we're going to compare. This is our marinated piece. Honestly, this is a completely different level. It's much more interesting with brighter flavors from the spices and herbs. And because of the liquid, the piece is much juicier. If I had to choose, of course I would pick this marinated option. We wash it down with iron from our signature glass. Curator, I'll set aside your two pieces for you right here. The ones with the streaks. Well, let's give it a try.
Very tasty, juicy. But we should try this one first too. This is also Chabansky, right? No.
This one...
We ate a lot of meat together. Out of these two kebabs, I like the ones with spices more. But my favorite is still the Dagestani kebab we made together, remember? That one was the best. And I noticed one thing, and I wanted to tell you about it. I think it's because back then, in your childhood, when you were with your father, with the shepherd, when you were making that shashlik, you had that kind of atmosphere. You were out in nature, eating in the mountains. Well, that's it. That influenced your emotions. Because you didn't have a choice there, let's say, between shepherd's shashlik and some other kind, and in your memory, you somehow formed the association that this is the best shashlik. If they delivered that shashlik now and you could try it, I think you'd pick the one with spices. What do you think, Timothy?
I doubt it. It's inside. It doesn't exist. The right shashlik. It's all a matter of taste. We're not arguing here about which shashlik is better, which marinade is better, or what's right. There's just no such thing. The main thing is to do it all from the heart, to do it well, to sit in a beautiful place with good company. Food is just an excuse for us to get together. We're not going to argue, but marinated shashlik is definitely top-notch.
So first we'll eat this one, and then the other one.
Nice, mister. Thanks.
To the skin.
I want to apologize to you. If you recently had dinner or you're watching this video, you'll probably have to go get something to eat again. Forgive us for this, give us a like, and see you, hopefully, someday. I still don't know what's going to happen next.
We're going to cook an ostrich.